PharmaPal.
You're listening to Bloomscast, the official podcast of Blooms.io, home of the Bioactive library for mass spectrometry instant optimization. Let's dive into the latest in natural chemistry, bioactive discovery, and the future of lab innovation.
Today, we're digging into mass spectrometry, specifically from the perspective of a phytochemist.
Right. What do you really need to know about mass spec to find those bioactive ingredients in natural products?
Exactly. We've got some insights on this, and our mission is basically to unpack the essentials, focusing on how phytochemists use it and can optimize it.
It's a big topic. Everything a phytochemist needs is a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
But the core, I think, is using mass spec effectively to identify active compounds in those, really complex natural mixtures. Let's focus there.
Okay, let's do that. So imagine you've got this promising plant extract. Mass spec isn't the very first thing you do, is it?
No, generally not. You usually start with extraction, pulling out a whole bunch of different molecules.
Right.
Then mass spec comes in. It analyzes that complex mix, giving you what you could call a molecular fingerprint.
A fingerprint, like a snapshot of everything that's inside.
Pretty much. It shows what compounds are present and, importantly, their molecular weights.
Ah, the weight. So it's like getting a guest list for a molecular party with everyone's weight listed.
That's a good way to put it. And knowing the weight is often that first crucial step. It helps you start filtering, maybe ruling out known compounds, narrowing down the possibilities.
Okay, but here's where I think it gets really interesting, especially for someone trying to optimize this. You have weights, but how do you figure out what the molecule actually is, particularly if it might be something completely new?
Right, that's the key challenge and where the real power lies. This is where we get into things like tandem mass spectrometry or MSMS.
MSM?
Yeah, you select ions of a specific weight, your potential bioactive compound, and then you basically break them apart inside the instrument.
You break them on purpose.
Exactly,
Yeah.
in a controlled way.
Yeah.
And then you analyze the weights of the fragments.
Yeah.
Think of it like taking that molecular ID card and shattering it, that the pattern of the pieces tells you something about how it was built.
So the fragmentation pattern gives structural clues.
Precisely. These patterns are often unique and can help piece together the structure, or at least significantly narrow down the possibilities, even for unknown compounds. It's crucial for identification.
Now, I know natural product extracts are, messy, super complex. How does mass spec deal with that? I imagine you could have different molecules that weigh the same.
Oh, absolutely. That's a major hurdle. Isobaric compounds, same nominal mass, different formula, and isomers, same formula, different arrangement. They can be really hard to distinguish just by weight.
So how does a phytochemist tackle that? This must be where the tuning comes in.
Exactly. This is where understanding the instrument and the chemistry is vital. You don't just press go. Phytochemists need to tune the mass spectrometer.
Tune it how?
Well, for instance, choosing the right ionization technique. Electrospray ESI is common for many natural products, but sometimes MALDI or others might be better depending on the compounds.
Okay, so the ionization method matters.
Right.
What else?
Optimizing for high resolution. A high-resolution instrument can measure mass with much greater precision, allowing you to potentially distinguish between compounds that have very, very similar masses, like those isobars.
Ah, so it's like having a much finer scale to weigh those molecules.
Sort of, yeah. It gives you a much more accurate mass measurement, and you also tune things like the mass ranger scanning or collision energy if you're doing fragmentation, tailoring it to the types of molecules you expect or are looking for.
So it's very targeted. You need an idea of what class of compounds might be active flavonoids, alkaloids, whatever, to optimize the analysis.
It certainly helps. Knowing the likely chemistry guides how you set up the experiment for the best sensitivity and information. You're optimizing detection and identification for your specific goal.
And linking this back to the bioactive part, how does the mass spec data help find the compound that's actually doing something biologically?
That's often done by combining mass spec with bioassays. You might fractionate the original extract, test the fractions for activity.
Find the most potent fraction.
Exactly. Then you analyze the active versus inactive fractions using mass spec. You look for compounds that are present or present in much higher amounts, only in the active fractions.
Ah, so you correlate the chemical profile with the biological activity.
Precisely. Mass spectrometry lets you see what chemical differences correlate with the biological effect you're interested in. It connects the chemistry to the function.
So it's really a cornerstone tool then. Not just identifying what's there, but pinpointing the active components by linking that chemical data directly to biological results, especially through careful tuning and analysis.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
For a phytochemist, it's fundamental for dissecting that natural complexity and finding the molecules that matter.
So for you listening, if you're in this field, understanding how to use and crucially how to optimize mass spec for your specific needs, identifying unknowns, handling complexity is absolutely key. It's your window into the molecular world of natural products.
Thanks for tuning in to Bloom's Cast, brought to you by blooms.io. Stay curious, stay connected, and we'll see you next time on the frontier of natural product innovation.
PharmaPal.